The Amazon rainforest does not sleep. It merely changes the frequency of its breathing.
In its deep heart, where the canopy is so thick it strangles the midday sun into mere slivers. The air hangs heavy with the scent of wet decay and exploding life. This is a world of vertical layers. Our story begins on the forest floor, the dark, humid basement where decomposition fuels giants. Here, the silence is a lie. Every rustle is a calculation, every shadow a potential grave. Moving through this verdant labyrinth is an architectural marvel of evolution, the giant Anteater. He is massive, his fur a coarse tapestry of gray and brown. He wears a primal sash of war. He walks on his knuckles to protect the terrifying scythe-like claws, capable of tearing through termite mounds. He is a peaceful wanderer, his senses tuned entirely to the chemical signals of prey. His hearing is acute. Unbeknownst to the wandering giant, the geography of the forest floor has changed ahead of him. It is not a change in terrain, but a change in occupancy. The air here feels heavier, more still. The camera slowly pans across the forest floor, focusing on a cluster of massive, gnarled buttress roots.
The light here is even dimmer. A faint, almost imperceptible shimmer hangs above the leaf litter.
The camera closes in, revealing the truth of the shimmer. The jungle sounds seem to recede.
Coiled beneath the buttress roots, almost invisible against the leaf litter, lies Death, Incarnate, the Bushmaster.
This is the Lachesis muta, the longest venomous snake in the Western Hemisphere, a creature of myth and terror. Its heat-sensing pits are painting a thermal picture. The jungle is cool blue, waiting for a burst of warm red. The Anteater continues its slow, methodical shuffle, driven by an insatiable metabolic hunger. His long snout, a specialized tool for scent, sweeps low over the damp earth, searching for the telltale signature. He is dominant in his size, usually fearing only the swift jaguar, and this confidence has made him momentarily complacent.
The camera cuts between the Anteater's deliberate progress and the motionless Bushmaster, emphasizing the growing proximity.
He stops at a rotting log, sniffing loudly. The sound is distinctive, a wet, vacuum-like snuffing. His tongue, a sticky, worm-like appendage, can flick in and out 150 times a minute, probing the crevices.
Finding nothing satisfactory, no rich vein of protein to sate his need, he moves on, drawing an invisible line.
His path draws an invisible line that intersects directly with the roots of the kapok tree. The wind is stagnant, offering no scent warning. No subtle breeze carries the reptilian musk to the great animal.
He steps over a fallen branch, his heavy tail sweeping behind him like a fan, bringing him inexorably closer.
The rhythmic thud of his padded knuckles on the leaf litter echoes slightly in the heavy air, a drumbeat of destiny. Every fiber of the powerful Bushmaster's body is a coiled spring, ready to unleash its potent venom in a flash. The Bushmaster senses the vibration before the heat. Heavy thudding steps transmit through the ground, vibrating the snake's jawbone.
The thermal image of the approaching giant Anteater grows brighter, filling the snake's entire sensory world.
The Bushmaster tightens its coils, not in fear, but in readiness. Every scale presses against the next, storing immense energy. It is territorial and aggressive. The approaching creature is encroaching on the personal space of a king. The Anteater's heavy footfalls grow louder, closer. The Anteater steps within 2 feet of the coiled death. The snake's neck pulls back into an S-curve, a loaded spring of biological tension, ready to explode. Suddenly, a blur of motion, the camouflage breaks. With a speed that belied its heavy body, the Bushmaster launches. It is a blur of motion, a strike faster than the human eye can process. The jaws open nearly 180 degrees. The Anteater's small eyes widen. Despite his awkward appearance, he possesses reflexes honed by millions of years. The massive hollow fangs pivot forward like switchblades, glistening with venom. The intent is a defensive warning bite.
At the sudden explosion of movement, the Anteater reacts with a primal reflex. He does not run. He rears up.
In a split second, the quadruped becomes a biped, balancing on powerful hind legs and using his massive tail for stability.
The snake's strike misses the flesh, grazing the thick, coarse fur of the Anteater's forearm. The defense holds. The Bushmaster recoils instantly, hissing sharply, a sound like a steam valve releasing pressure. The Anteater stumbles back, a deep, hoarse huff escaping its snout, its massive arms spread wide. The Bushmaster rapidly recoils, its head raised high, tracking the swaying Anteater. The battle is not over. The Anteater, now fully upright, looks impossibly tall and menacing. The jungle around them falls into silence. The Anteater roars, a sound rarely heard, a hoarse, guttural huffing that signifies pure agitation. He spreads his front arms wide, revealing the full span of his chest and the 4-inch claws.
These claws, usually tools for excavation, are now daggers capable of disemboweling a jaguar.
The tension is palpable. The jungle seems to hold its breath. The birds fall silent. On one side, the reptilian coldness of the Bushmaster, tracking the movement with unblinking focus. On the other, the mammalian fury of the Anteater, towering tall, a massive, shaggy fortress. The Bushmaster, undeterred by the initial miss, strikes again, a lightning thrust aimed low. This time, the Anteater swipes. His arm moves with the speed of a whip, a blur of muscle and fur. The claws connect with the air inches from the snake's head, creating an audible whoosh. The snake realizes this is not helpless prey. This is a fortress that fights back with potent defense.
The Anteater advances, interpreting the snake's recoil as weakness, a moment of critical hesitation.
He swipes again, his claws tearing through the leaf litter, sending a chaotic spray of leaves and soil. He guides his defense by the sound of its hiss and the blur of its motion, an unyielding counterattack. The Bushmaster, fully aware of the danger, begins a slow, deliberate retreat back into the shadows.
It keeps its head raised, facing the Anteater, its body flowing backward with liquid grace.
The tension slowly drains from the Anteater's posture. Its powerful hind legs tremble slightly. The Bushmaster, realizing it has lost the element of surprise, begins to withdraw with calculated dignity.
It keeps its unblinking eyes locked on the Anteater, moving backward, a living shadow melting into the undergrowth.
The Anteater remains standing, a sentinel of the forest floor, waiting for a follow-up attack that never comes. Adrenaline personified, his powerful hind legs tremble slightly with the lingering aftershocks of the confrontation. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, the extreme tension leaves his massive muscles, and the primal fear subsides. The fierce, agitated huffing softens into a deep, shuddering breath, a release of metabolic heat. He drops back onto all fours. The transformation from fierce warrior back to peaceful forager is complete. The danger has passed, but the memory of the viper, for a brief moment, remains etched in his primal brain. The Anteater shakes his coat, a ripple of coarse fur traveling down his spine, literally shaking off the remnants of battle. The Bushmaster has vanished into the deep undergrowth, a ghost returning to the spirit world, now only a memory. The Anteater turns, its heavy tail sweeping over the tracks of the struggle, a deliberate act of erasing the evidence. The disturbed leaf litter settles back into place, the small indentations smoothed over, erasing the violent interruption. He resumes his path, the memory of the viper already fading, replaced by the driving biological imperative to find food. The primal instinct for survival reasserts itself, pushing the recent terror into the background, focusing on hunger. The jungle, with its vast indifference, slowly begins to reclaim its usual symphony of chirps, buzzes, and rustles.
The Anteater is once more a peaceful wanderer, but now with a silent, deeper understanding of the forest's hidden furies.
The jungle breathes again. The cicadas resume their song, a steady, pulsing rhythm.
The birds, which had fallen silent in the face of primal conflict, begin their calls anew.
The shaft of sunlight that had illuminated the battlefield shifts, leaving the scene in shadow once more.
It was a moment of raw, unscripted violence, a collision of two evolutionary masterpieces. The encounter ended not in death, but in a mutual recognition of power, a silent, ancient accord. The king of the ants, with his formidable, hidden strength, had faced the king of the vipers. And for once, the viper had chosen retreat. The Anteater, a creature of peace and quiet industry, walked on. The rainforest holds countless such silent battles, unseen and unheard by human ears.
This was not a victory of aggression, but of defense.
The Amazon rainforest continues its breathing, an eternal cycle of growth, decay, and rebirth. This story ends not with violence, but with the quiet understanding of mutual power, a profound respect. The jungle's rhythm, a testament to resilience and adaptation, carries on, unbroken.
The giant Anteater carries within him to strength to even the most feared predators.
It reminds us that even in the most peaceful corners, there lies an incredible capacity for defense and balance.